I had no knowledge about retirement, investment, but I didn't know how to teach myself finances. In our community in general, they did not share this kind of information with us. I always say we educate and then we facilitate. Let's leave a legacy, not a liability. We teach people how to get affordable quality health coverage and how to utilize it. How about going to the hospital and paying zero? When we need information and we don't have it, it's too late.
What does failure is knowledge mean to you?
It's a safe place to make mistakes. The most important thing is that you try.
Welcome to another episode of Phase Knowledge Podcast, and I'm here with
Donnie Hill.
Donnie Hill, and I have one question for you.
Yes.
Why the financial industry?
I started in the financial industry because I didn't know. I just didn't know anything. I knew about a bank account, and that was it. I had no knowledge about retirement, investment. I was a 30-year teacher, special education, and had no knowledge. I could teach kids, but I didn't know how to teach myself finances. So I ran into a financial professional. He became my friend, and he taught me. And I learned, and I knew that I need to pass this information on to others.
You was an educator for 30 years.
Yeah, well, actually, I was an educator for 40 years. I did 10 years in private education as a small business. Our family had a small business, and also 30 years as a public school teacher in special education because I saw the need.
My mama, you just made me remember that my mama was a special ed teacher when I was younger.
Yeah.
And my wife, she's an educator. Well, she was an educator who taught English. And my wife is in the financial industry as well. So for you to
Right.
transition from teaching to the financial industry is not an easy thing.
Right.
But you make it look easy. How do you make it look easy?
Well, because as a special ed teacher, I make the complicated simple. I teach the brain. And I literally teach people like I teach my children. I break it down, simplify it, and make it usable. Because I didn't know myself, I know that others didn't know. I advocated for my families through education, so I wanted to advocate for my community the same way and educating them financially with real financial answers, breaking it down so you can understand it and then utilize it. Then you won't fear it.
You know, fear is the biggest thing to trying something new, especially when you go from
Yeah.
an educator to being in the financial industry.
Yeah.
Now you have to learn new terminology, new education, new ways to connect with people.
Yes.
What was your biggest failure during that time?
Well, my biggest failure, again, not knowing. That was the biggest failure. I mean, in our community in general, they did not share this kind of information with us. And I cannot, like for me as a teacher, I feel like I fail my children if I can't convey that information. And my community kind of failed me because it was not given to them, so they couldn't transfer it to me. So as a result, I couldn't transfer it to my daughter or my children. So I had a responsibility to myself, my family, and my community to learn and share that information that wasn't freely shared with others.
Wow. So you're constantly impacting people on something that you did not understand.
Exactly.
And then now you're helping people with their not necessarily just finances, but understand how to use their finances while they're alive, while they're planning for the future.
Yes.
What is the business that you have?
We are EA Pendant Associates. We're a full financial services company. We teach people. I always say we educate and then we facilitate. We educate you on how to choose life insurance while you're alive, how you can get it outside of your job. We teach people how to get affordable quality health coverage and how to utilize it. How about going to the hospital and paying zero? We also teach people how to create a retirement income they can't outlive. There's no need to retire in poverty if you have the tools and the resources. So that's what we do.
Wow. Wow.
We change people's lives, quality of life, and their future and their legacy. I always say, let's leave a legacy, not a liability.
Wow, that's incredible. So we're at the Temple Business Expo. What is your biggest takeaway so far while you've been here?
My biggest takeaway is that at the Business Expo, people are really not just sharing their business, but they're really trying to make an impact on their community by sharing their skills, their assets, their tools. And these people really care about one another, just like I do. So this is a good fit for me.
It is. This is my first time here. I met Mike, Robert, everybody else like a
Yeah.
couple months ago, and
Yeah.
just to be around a community who wants the best for everyone,
Mhm.
it's life changing. Because when I was in the Marine Corps, that's that camaraderie. And
Yes.
then as I was raised by a single mom who raised two boys by herself, I
Yes.
played football, but that team aspect is always there. And to have your
Exactly.
business, you have to have a team. How can
Yes.
people find you? How can they learn more about you? And how can they potentially get their finances back
Yes,
together?
yes. Well, to be really honest, we're local here in Tampa in Temple Terrace. You can look us up on in the Google. You can look us up online. We're EA Pender and Associates, three, that the Roman numeral three, and also you can find us at eapender.com. And we'll be really available to share with you, help make a difference in your small business, in your individual lives. I mean, we treat everyone the same, just the way we would want to be treated.
Wow.
Yes,
Just like when you needed to learn it 40 years ago, you're helping people learn it about now. So Donna, I
exactly.
appreciate it. I definitely enjoyed
Yeah,
this.
we
So
need this. We need this. Like I told someone the other day, that when we need information and we don't have it, it's too late. I was diagnosed with a burst appendix last year, $620,000 later, but my revenue, my household, my investments, everything was saved by good quality health coverage. I didn't pay that.
when you get educated, you know how to do better. And when you do better, you teach others how to get better.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Donna, I
Well,
appreciate it. So Donna, again, I appreciate you for coming on to the Failures Knowledge Podcast. What was your biggest takeaway of being on the podcast?
Well, I've never been on a podcast before, and I think the biggest takeaway is this opportunity to be heard and make those poignant points that need to be made on a bigger scale. Uh, Putting me in a position where no one would hear me before, or places I could never go before. So you just opened my world. You broadened my horizons.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
The
You've been
next,
delightful.
I appreciate it. I appreciate for the next guest that's coming on. What is one piece of advice that I can do to improve the conversation?
Make sure they know the questions before you ask. Give me 30 seconds to think.
Gotcha.
But a lot of times too, the spontaneity is very good. And it leads to genuineness. So,
What does failure is knowledge mean to you?
okay, what does failure as knowledge means to me? Oh, okay. Well, because I was in a special ed and I taught children, one of the things that I taught them first, because they had failed so many times. And when you fail, you cloak, you get angry, you cover. But I taught my children that it's a safe place to make mistakes. The most important thing is that you try. And if you try, then you can go back and rethink, where did you make your mistake and why? And you can learn from those mistakes to see how to do it better the next time. So I used to tell them, you can get an A for just trying
Yes.
because you tried.
Yes.
Now let's go back, think, improve, see where we went off the rails, so you can make a better choice next time. And not don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's
That is,
part of life.
that's powerful. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. Thank you.